той день, це було 27 лютого, коли я...
On that day, that was the 27th of February, I met some servicemen, and at that time I had no doubts that they were Russian military. I asked their commander about the purpose of their visit to my unit, and they said that they had received information that on my airfield some aircraft landed carrying representatives of the so-called Right Sector organization. And they said that their mission was to prevent them from being on the territory of Crimea. I answered to that there were no Right Sector people in the territory of my airfield. There were just Ukrainian servicemen guarding the airfield.
Відчуття страху було, але не таке, щоб він...
There was some fear, but not an insurmountable fear. My main worry was for my subordinates. I was worried that if my subordinates get killed, I will have to live with that for the rest of my life. I did understand what kind of danger we were facing because we were confronted by armed Russian military, and we had no weapons with us at that time.
That
was my decision. We had no orders to use weapons at that time, as not to provoke a military conflict with the Russian Federation. They suggested that I meet the commander of the Russian Federation Black Sea Fleet, Admiral Vitko. As a result of that meeting, I was sent to the confinement facility of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, where I spent 3 days and nights in a solitary confinement. They were trying to persuade me that I should switch sides. I refused, and after that, for 2 days and nights, they deprived me of sleep, and they kept banging on the door to keep me awake. They rather kept pressing on the point that I used to be a Russian officer, that I had sworn allegiance to the Soviet Union, and I should remember that. They said a lot about the great Russian Empire, about the famous Russian aviation force. They promised that I would have a great future in the Russian Federation. To that I said that when I was a lieutenant, I swore allegiance to the Ukrainian nation after the Soviet Union collapsed, and that I'm going to be loyal to this oath of allegiance for the rest of my life. To that they said that I would have plenty of time to reconsider, and that they will try to initiate some kind of legal proceedings against me. All my thoughts were with my wife, with my daughter and my granddaughter, and I was absolutely confident that my actions were right, plus the oath of allegiance that I swore to the Ukrainian nation. And on the 26th of March, under the guard of Russian military, I was taken to the area called Chingar and handed over to the Ukrainian border guards. I do have friends there. Their life is not all that sweet. They believe that they have gone back to the years of Stalinism and the repressions of 1937-1939, and the situation is getting increasingly worse every day. People's rights and freedoms are being violated on a regular basis. Their living standards are going down. People are getting increasingly poor. The Russian authorities got deeply entrenched there. People are intimidated. They're afraid, and they constantly worried about their lives because they're being constantly watched. But many people who used to support and welcome Russia's military on the territory of Crimea have already reconsidered their stance. They have rethought the recent developments, and they have a totally different view of the situation now, because they see that the Russian authorities, who had promised prosperity and wealth, have failed to deliver on any of those promises.